Tonight on Newswatch, learn about some new rules that will be implemented on the food industry.
And more about a student award-winning design project.
And in sports, I'll talk about the upcoming football game and hockey game against number 2 Lindenwood.
With seasonal temperatures across the state today, I'll let you know more in my full Iowa forecast later. Stay tuned, you're watching Newswatch.
This is Newswatch 18. Newswatch 18 starts now.
Good evening, you're watching Newswatch. I'm Maria Lizignoli.
And I'm Jordan Prince. Thanks for joining us.
Everybody knows that fruits and vegetables are a main part of a balanced diet, but do you really know what you're putting into your body is safe to eat? The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention estimates that 48 million Americans get sick every year from foodborne illnesses. That's why the Food and Drug Administration is implementing a new rule to make food producers, manufacturers, and processors more accountable in preventing the outbreak. The new rules require companies to identify and address potential risks at all points of the food chain. This will help ensure that the foodborne illnesses will be caught before they reach your dinner plate.
4 design students worked on a group project that won the student category of the 2015 Healthcare Environmental Awards. The students' conceptual design of a second patient tower at the University of Iowa Hospitals and Clinics took first place. These students will be recognized for their work at an upcoming awards ceremony on November 6th. They will also have their work showcased and featured in Contract Magazine's October issue. The project was named the UICH Tower 2. It was also part of their senior capstone project.
If you're a senior at Iowa State, this week is your week. The Student Alumni Leadership Council has planned a week-long event on Central Campus just for the graduating class who will embark on a new journey. The Fall Senior Week kicked off on Central Campus this Monday with the sale of senior packages. The packages were sold for $10 each and it included a mug, a t-shirt, a koozie, a bottle opener, and a button. Free food and beverages were being served from Tuesday to Thursday. Senior Week will conclude with a barbecue tomorrow at Size Roost. The event will start at 3 p.m., so if you're a senior, you might want to go check it out.
A popular fast food chain has reestablished roots in Ames. Dakota Carpenter has the story.
With an estimated value of $5.5 billion, this fast food chain is excited to be back in Ames. That's right, you guessed it. Chick-fil-A has opened up on Duff Avenue, and owner-operator Tari Thompson is looking forward to providing excellent customer service.
It's always about making the experience a memorable one, so it's great to be in Ames and to be bringing a Chick-fil-A to Ames for the first time in quite a while.
Chick-fil-A produced nearly $6 billion in sales last year and has sold over 3.2 billion chicken sandwiches since 1964. For one Iowa State student, Chick-fil-A is a connection to home.
After our soccer games and softball games, a lot of us would go there and eat as a team or as with my family. That's where we went a lot, so it makes me come here with my family.
Chick-fil-A Ames wanted to begin interacting with the Ames community prior to opening, so they held the first 100. The first 100 customers served at Chick-fil-A received free Chick-fil-A for a year. Thompson thinks they're being received nicely by the Ames community.
We've been very well received. Last week we opened on Wednesday, was our grand opening, and we were very busy Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then obviously with a home Iowa State game against TCU on Saturday, it made for a very busy Saturday as well, which we love.
Based on the business and constant flow of people, it seems that the Ames community agrees with Tari.
Excited, I think it'll be good. It's obviously done really well so far. Every time we drive by, it always seems to be full.
Reporting for Newswatch, Dakota Carpenter.
The Hunger U mobile exhibit made its way here to Iowa State earlier this week to educate students about global hunger issues and the role of modern agriculture. A Hunger U crew member, Fiona Coleman, says that 1 in 6 Americans are affected by hunger issues, and 15% of Story County's population is insecure. That is why ISU students were invited to take a 5-question quiz on global hunger issues. For every quiz taken, Hunger U will donate a meal to a local Food Ames pantry. Coleman said that the organization specifically targets college campuses because these students are the future and have the potential to play a role in addressing global hunger. The exhibition's next stop is at the National FFA Convention in Louisville, Kentucky on October 28th.
Some Iowa State Student University students have been speaking out on a campus town parking problem that they are concerned about. They believe that the parking in campus town may actually be promoting drunk driving. There is parking along Welch Avenue that is restricted from 3 a.m. till 6 a.m. This is a concern for many students, along with the ISU student body president, Dan Breitbarth. Breitbarth's concern was that students may be influenced to drive drunk in order to avoid a parking ticket or being towed in these areas that are close to many of the bars. The ISU student government and the Ames City Council had a meeting to discuss the possible options they may have to solve this problem. The conclusion of the meeting is still unknown.
Get ready for winter and packed Cyride buses. The record number of students enrolled at Iowa State this year has created a need for additional Cyride buses, drivers, and routes. Unfortunately, transportation fund is limited, and students are already paying around $67 a semester to fund Cyride, and that number will increase to about $74 in the spring of 2016. Iowa State board members are continuing to research Cyride's needs and possible solutions for the lack of funding. And now we are joined at the desk by Austin. Austin, what is going on in the world of Cyclone sports?
Well, the Iowa State football team will be playing against Baylor this weekend, who leads the country in scoring and most yards per game. So it'll be a very difficult task this weekend.
More after the break. Thanks for watching.
Fans that packed Jack Trice Stadium on Saturday felt a rare sense of excitement in the Cyclones game against number 3 TCU. The Cyclones started the game with 21 first-quarter points, courtesy of 2 rushing touchdowns and a 74-yard touchdown reception from Alan Lazard, taking a 21-14 lead into the second quarter. Unfortunately for the Cyclone fans, that would be the end of the scoring for Iowa State, as they went on to lose 45-21. The Cyclones now move on from the number 3 team in the country to the number 2 team in the country as they visit the high-octane Baylor Bears for the Bears' homecoming game. Baylor is leading the country with 64 points per game and 720 yards of total offense. The Cyclones head to Waco as a 37-point underdog. Now, speaking of football, the sport is seen as a violent activity with large men trying to hit each other with as much force as possible. But as Jack Trice Stadium witnessed at the Iowa State versus TCU game last Saturday, football is more than just a rough game. TCU quarterback and Heisman Trophy contender Trevon Boykin made a small gesture by kneeling down next to the Iowa State Kid Captain of the Week, A.B. Farber. He simply said hello and asked her what her name was. What started as a nice gesture toward a 7-year-old girl battling cerebral palsy may have just turned her life around. On Abby's YouCaring.com page, over $15,000 have been raised to help her fund her ongoing physical therapy and vision therapy on top of the orthopedic surgery on both of her legs. From the football field to the game of life, this further goes to prove the power of a simple act of kindness. Cyclone hockey has moved up in the American Collegiate Hockey Association rankings once again. The team is at number 3 in the country, which is the highest ranking of the season, after last weekend's sweep of Illinois State. The Cyclones welcome number 2 Lindenwood to the Ames ISU Ice Arena in another series this weekend. This weekend's game could decide the number 1 team in the country. The matchup will be more about finesse and less about physicality, as head coach Jason Fairman calls this weekend's matchup a chess match. The puck drops for the first game at 7:30 on Friday night. There were plenty of clone cones in Hilton on Wednesday during the volleyball game. The Cyclones played West Virginia, and the Clones were dominant during the first 2 sets. Going into the match, the Cyclones were 4-2 in the Big 12 Conference and 11-6 overall. The Mountaineers struggled to make a big impact until the 3rd set, where the game was very back and forth. Iowa State was able to pull away, though. Caitlin Nolan posted 14 digs, her 36th straight match with at least 10 digs and 66th of her career. Jess Shaban led Iowa State with 12 kills, her 3rd straight match in double figures, and set a career high with a .632 hitting percentage, good for 5th best by a freshman in Iowa State history. Iowa State is now 5-2 in the Big 12 and will take on Baylor in Waco, Texas on October 25th at 2 p.m. The New York Mets are headed to the World Series. The Mets finished off the 4-game sweep of the Chicago Cubs 8-3 on Wednesday night, thanks to the impressive young pitching staff and a historical performance from NLCS MVP Daniel Murphy, who hit .529 with a home run in every single game of the series. The most touching story, however, came from Mets manager Terry Collins. Collins said his team clinched a berth in the World Series on what would have been his parents' 73rd wedding anniversary. The manager remembered the time when his mother let him skip school to watch the World Series in 5th grade. Now, 55 years later, Collins will be back watching the World Series once again, but this time with a better view. Now, that's all I have for you on sports. Today was a beautiful fall day for us here in Ames. Will it last?
We actually have some rain to get its way into the state. I'll let you know more after the break. Welcome back to Newswatch. I'm meteorologist Jan Ryherd. Outside right now, we have clear skies and we are dropping down to 56 degrees right now. We've been dropping down pretty quickly in the past couple hours. Those winds are out of the east. Pretty light though for our winds. Right now, the state is pretty much sitting all the same for temperatures. A little bit cooler up to the north, still holding on in the low 60s to our south though. Current winds, like I said, are out of the east. We do have some stronger wind gusts out to the western part of the state though. However, the big story for the weather tonight is we've got some showers that are trying to push their way into the state, and they are going to make their way into the state as we go in through the evening and into tomorrow morning. Possibly while you're walking to class, unfortunately. So if we track this system, we've got a low that's going to start making its way across the Midwest tomorrow and give us a chance for scattered showers throughout the day. Nothing too big, but we could have some rain pretty much all day long. But then it starts to move out into Saturday, and that will dissipate along with the showers that we will see. Tonight, though, we're going to dip into the lower 50s, probably about 52 here in Ames, maybe some 40s up to our north, and staying a little bit warmer out to the west. Tomorrow, though, we'll rise up into the upper 60s. Pretty seasonable, though, for us all around the state. Like I said, tonight in Ames, we're going to dip down to the lower 50s. The clouds out there are going to keep us a little warmer than we would be otherwise. However, right now we are pretty clear, so those temperatures are going to drop off fairly quickly right now. Tomorrow we're going to get up to about 63. We do have that chance for showers all day though, and we do have, so it will be pretty cloudy with those showers and a good chance for some stronger wind gusts, maybe up to 20 miles an hour tomorrow. Though looking ahead to our Saturday game against Baylor down in Waco, Texas, down at McLean Stadium, around kickoff time at 11, it should be about 71 degrees. So quite a difference for our Cyclones down there, which should be a very nice game to be at. Looking ahead for the next 7 days, though, we do have that chance for rain tomorrow, and then just some clouds and lower 60s for the most of the week, so staying pretty seasonable. However, on Wednesday and Thursday, we will dip down into the 50s. There'll be more news after the break.
Hi, welcome back. With VISA beginning to seem like a distant memory, students are concerned with what opportunities they have at Iowa State. While the negative aspects of VISA were nothing to be proud of, students are still seeking the same community engagement and campus involvement that VISA offered. That is why a committee of students and faculty has been made to bring more of a positive spin on this annual tradition. The committee has come up with 6 initial events: a winter welcome back celebration, a February celebration, a March Madness event, an arts celebration, a college showcase parade, and a community service event. President of the student government, Dan Breitbarth, says these are just the 6 main events and they will likely be creating more.
The first round cuts for Yell Like Hell will take place this Sunday. Yell Like Hell is a Greek community tradition during homecoming week. The Greek community sororities and fraternities have been working together in pairs to create routines, cheers, and stomps to get their audience hyped for homecoming. All the pairings have had 3 practices a week for several weeks to prepare for this competition. Each pairing in Yell Like Hell will perform the routines throughout the whole Sunday, hoping to make it past the first cut.
The annual Sci Factor is back. Auditions for the talent show was held last week in the Raymond Ballroom at the Alumni Center. The event will feature a variety of Iowa State students' talents. The acts can be performed individually or as a group with an 8-minute time limit. Sci Factor is part of the Homecoming Excitement 2015 and is going on its 2nd year. The talent show will take place in the Alumni Center Ballroom on October 27th, and it will start at 7 p.m.
Vice President Joe Biden is out of the presidential runnings. His decision to quit the running has changed the shape of the Democratic race and has impacted Hillary Clinton's status. Clinton has gained voter support from Biden's supporters who oppose Bernie Sanders. At the White House Rose Garden, Biden said, "I have concluded it has closed. Unfortunately, I believe we are out of time necessary to run a winning campaign."
For the mixed emotions felt on Joe Biden's quitting can be expressed through a new emojis that have been released. Apple users had a recent update on their emoji collection, and new emojis were released with the new Apple mobile operating system update that was yesterday. The iOS 9.1 features more than 150 new emoji characters such as a squirrel, a turkey, a taco, a burrito, and even a middle finger. Aside from the emojis, the iOS 9.1 also comes with an update for the iPhone 6s live photo feature and bug fixes. To get this new Apple update, Apple users can either plug their devices into their computer and download it from iTunes, or simply just go to Settings, tap on General, and then Software Update. And that is all we have for this Thursday's edition of Newswatch.
Come back next week for more news, weather, and sports.
And from all of us here at ISU TV, have a great night, Ames.